Every Outin Nano review sugarcoats this, and I can't understand why. Because out of the box, this machine is missing something so important, it blows my mind. After 36 hours of testing this on the go out of my Airbnb, I'll show you whether it's worth the 150 bucks or a complete waste of money. First, let's unbox this thing in 3, 2, 1. The Nano comes with a filter basket for grounds, a capsule adapter, a spoon that doubles as a tamp, a coffee cup, and a USB-C cable. There's a self-heat mode for your water that's supposed to reach 92 degrees Celsius or 198 Fahrenheit, and it has a 20-bar pressure pump for pulling shots. Now, there's a serious limitation with one of these parts, and if you don't know your way around it, you could be pulling under-extracted shots that only give you less than a few sips. But first, let me show you 3 simple ways you can pull shots with the Nano. First, you unscrew it, take out the portafilter, and remove the screen. Then you just scoop 5 to 6 grams of grounds into the filter basket. I wanted more coffee, so I did my best to fit 8 grams. Now, if you're wondering what size to grind at, I was in the espresso range, but on the coarser side. If you go too fine, the grounds get too dense, and the Nano barely pulls the water through. Next, you just have to give it a few taps to level it out. Tamp it down with a spoon, twist it back and forth, screw the basket on, and add 50 milliliters of water. Now, this first method is with room temperature water. You press and hold the button for 2 seconds until it beeps. The Nano takes about 3 minutes to heat up on a cold start, and the LEDs on the front show you when it's ready. When you hear the Nano beep again, that's when it starts pulling the first shot. My first impression of it was a bit sour, more harsh and watery than I'd like. I was thinking it was a bit under extracted, but turns out there was something unexpected happening inside the Nano that I didn't know about. Now, the second method is with hot water. You just double press the button, that skips the heating and pulls the shot directly. This one was much more balanced and passable, and I have a theory as to why. Now, the last way is with an espresso pod using an adapter. This was by far the most underwhelming shot, no body, sort of flat, much lower intensity versus the last shot. I guess you could have guessed that. It's way less work, but definitely doesn't taste as good as the last one. By the way, if you decide to grab the Outin Nano, I'll drop a link in the description below that I'll keep updated with the best current deal. Using that link saves you money and helps support the channel, which I always appreciate. Now, across all methods, here's where that serious limitation comes in. A normal espresso calls for a 1-to-2 ratio. The filter basket only fits 6 grams of coffee, which means a 1-to-2 shot is only 12 grams of liquid out. For most people, that's like a few sips. If you paid attention to the espresso I was drinking earlier, it was closer to a full shot glass. That's because I didn't use a 1-to-2 ratio. I used a longer one, about 1 3 3/4, which is roughly 8 grams in and 30 grams out, because who the hell wants to go through all the trouble of heating the water, packing the puck, and cleaning the Nano just to pull half a shot glass of espresso? Not me. I want to pack the puck with more, like 16 to 18 grams, but with this, you just can't. And I think most people want more coffee, more control, and a better tasting shot. Well, there's actually a fix. Remember that missing piece I was talking about earlier? This is it, but there's one thing you probably won't like about it. First, let me show you what it is and how it works. This is the Basket Plus. With this, you can finally pull better tasting 1-to-2 ratio espresso shots. It comes with a portafilter, a 16 to 18 gram basket, a shower screen, a doser, a legit tamper, and a distribution tool. The first thing you'll notice is the filter basket is stainless steel instead of plastic. The mesh on the lid is bigger, and the bottom has a single hole, so instead of espresso spraying everywhere, it comes out concentrated. First, you put the basket in the portafilter, then the doser, add your 16 to 18 grams of grounds, use the distributor tool to get rid of the clumps, tap it, push the tamp flat and twist until it's perfectly level. Take the doser off, attach the screen and screw it on, fill the reservoir with hot water, double press, and here's what we got. Honestly, the results here are night and day better than just the 8-gram basket. Now, the one thing that you probably won't like is that it costs an extra 40 bucks. And I'm not gonna sugarcoat this. It's annoying that you have to pay extra, but for 40 bucks, it's totally worth it. Without the Basket Plus, the Nano kind of feels useless. And with it, you unlock double espresso shots and lattes. You can add milk, maybe some sugar if you're into that, and I have to say, it's delicious. Way better than stopping for a coffee on the road at Starbucks. Now, clearly the Outin isn't perfect. There are 3 things every person needs to consider before buying it, and if you ignore these, you might wind up making a $150 mistake. Remember how I said there was something off about the room temperature shot I pulled? The advertised temperature is around 92 Celsius or 198 Fahrenheit. Well, turns out I'm not crazy. A proper espresso needs between 90 and 96 degrees. When you use the self-heat function without preheating, the Nano feels like it barely hits the mark, and that could lead to a bitter shot, especially if you like light roast coffees. Those need higher temperatures to extract properly. Medium to medium dark roast work better with the Nano because those brew at lower temperatures and are more forgiving. So my first comment with the Outin Nano is the brewing temperature. Now, there is a simple hack you can use to fix this, but it also comes with a catch. First, take it apart, remove the filter basket, add your room temperature water, press and hold the brew so the Nano pulls hot water. Take the hot water and add it back, then add your filter basket, run the self-heat again and pull. That should preheat the body and give you a hotter temperature. But there's a massive catch with all this, and it has to do with the battery. Outin advertises 4 to 5 shots per charge, but you don't always get that. It depends on the temperature of the water you pour into the top. Now, if you use preheated water from a kettle or a thermos, they advertise up to 200 shots, but realistically with the self-heat function, you can get about 3 to 4 uses per charge. In most cases, like in a hotel room, there's usually a kettle. If you're at a campsite, you might have a jet boil. If you're at work, there's probably a hot water dispenser nearby. So it's not a deal breaker, but if you're truly off the grid with no hot water and no outlet, it can be a problem. Now, here's another thing nobody talks about, and if you're on the go a lot, it can get messy real fast. When you're done brewing, you unscrew the basket and the puck is just sitting there wet and stuck. There's no knockbox or lever to eject it. It's a little clunky and can get grounds everywhere real quick. If you can wait about 10 to 15 minutes for the puck to dry, then flip the basket over and either blow it out or give it a firm shake, it usually comes out in one piece, or use a fork or a knife to scrape it. Now, to be honest, none of these were deal breakers, and you gotta have realistic expectations for a portable espresso maker. So here are 3 things that could make the Outin Nano worth the investment for you. If you depend on coffee to get you through your workday, this is probably the #1 reason to get the Outin Nano. It heats the water, has a built-in pump, and pulls the shots all on a battery. Having a kettle handy is nice, but you don't need one. There's no hand pumping like with a PicoPresso. You don't need an outlet. If you're in a hurry, it works with pods, and all you need is your grounds and some water. For anyone who wants better coffee on the go, it's convenient. Now, this leads me to something that most people overlook. A coffee on the road can be $4 to $8, and it adds up quick. At $4 a day, 5 days a week, that's $20 a week. After 1 year, that's over $1,000. And if you travel for work, you already know the coffee out there is pretty bad. So with the Outin Nano, you're saving money and drinking maybe not the best coffee, but better coffee. But this has to be the most underrated and unexpected reason to get a Nano. I came across this video on social media, which made me realize how disgusting it is to share coffee makers with strangers. After watching this video, I will never be using a hotel coffee machine ever again.
I'm about to show you guys one of the coolest tricks ever. Say you're traveling and you didn't pack enough underwear. You put your underwear where you would put the coffee grounds. You close it, you press brew, and it puts scorching hot water through it. You guys, then your hair dryer in the bathroom, you blow dry those bad boys, and you got yourself a cleaner pair of underwear.
Somehow she thought it was a brilliant idea to wash her dirty underwear in a hotel coffee maker, one that thousands of people like you and me may have drank from. And hotels aren't the only place people share coffee. If you're a commuter, you and your coworkers probably use the same machine, and how often does that get cleaned? Probably never. So not having to share a machine with a stranger might be the most underrated pro about the Nano. Now, with that said, if you gave a world-class barista a shot from your Outin Nano, they might think it's not that great, but the Outin Nano wasn't made to compete with expensive espresso machines anyway. It's made for people who want better coffee no matter where they are. No doubt there's a learning curve to it, but that makes it fun, and you have to experiment, build your routine, and dial it in. As someone who appreciates a good latte or espresso, I think this is miles better than what you get on the road. Combined with the Basket Plus, I'm pretty happy with it. If you want one, I'll leave a link in the description with the best current deal, and I'll keep you updated if anything changes or if I find a better machine.